Whose favorite's Raph?
No one.
Dude, are you just like pulling those out of your pocket? Where are those coming from?
He's pulling them out of his
He's
ass.
the angriest Ninja Turtle ever. Of course, he's my favorite.
Damn!
Hit white people, like.
Yeah, naturally.
I told you I went to Walmart. But no, I brought those from home.
All right.
The other thing.
You should just continue off that thing because I don't know if you've played the beginning of Twilight Princess before, but it is boring and garbage, and I might
never
fall
played this
asleep.
one before. That's why we put it in.
This game is shit.
Okay.
It's my favorite.
Maybe we should put it in Twilight
Michael,
Princess
you're
so we
shit.
can just make
I
fun
know.
of
Wait.
it
What's your
the entire
favorite is shit?
Isn't this? Oh, this is Skyward Sword.
time.
No.
What is this?
Twilight Princess.
Oh, that's why I thought you. Oh, okay,
never
okay,
played
yeah, okay.
Twilight.
You said
I've
maybe we
played-
should put that. I thought he just said okay, maybe we should now put in Twilight Princess, and I was
well,
like, wait, is this not it?
Well, Skyward Sword is super easy to make fun of the entire time. So
The real question is, on this one, is he a lefty or a righty?
This is a lefty.
Yeah, I think it's the
based
game.
off the
I think it's the
GameCube
GameCube port. Yeah.
I would also, for the record,
Like to state as a fucking nerd that there are swordsmen who are right-handed that use left-handed swordsmen. So
No one can hear you.
it's fine.
No, but our 4 people who listen,
Yeah, they got it. Yeah, they're the.
when I listen to this later,
James got it.
I'll get it.
Shout out to James.
All right, so I need to do this sync thing so that way it'll be easy for me. So 1, 2, 3. So that way I can see.
That was my ear.
Yeah, you just synced tinnitus is what you did.
Oh, all right.
I'm just really enthusiastic about it, you know?
I will be Link. Oh,
You can name your
shit.
horse.
I get to name this fucking
Change the O to a W.
I can use
Epona.
Lots. Yes.
Get it? It looks like it's like excited. It was like, oh.
Just
Just make it like a WoW name, like Sephiroth with all all fucking alt characters.
let's see. No, I really
Make
liked what
it
you
a
had.
sound.
Just make it spoopy. Too spoopy.
Too spoopy for me?
It's my character in WoW now.
I know I saw you on that character.
Too spoopy.
I got on and you were on and I said something in guild and you didn't say anything because you're an asshole.
I probably didn't see it because
Yeah, you
the
didn't
funny
see
thing
that
about,
green text show up
The
in your
funny thing
chat.
about text nowadays is that I don't know. There's really nothing funny.
Yeah,
about
no,
it. I
you
probably
suck.
was just an asshole and was like, I'm flying. I think probably what happened was I set myself to fly and then I went to the bathroom for 15
Sure,
minutes
Sure.
because we all have to shit. So welcome.
Fuck.
Did you drop another one?
I only dropped one.
You dropped one earlier.
Yeah, but that was the same one.
I've dropped one twice.
Whoa, who is this guy? Tell me.
Not your father.
Feel a strange sadness as dusk falls.
You should probably put that mic a little closer to your mouth there, homeboy.
tell me.
There we go.
It's hit A, so I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
Whoa!
Oh, man, who is this fucking guy?
What just happened? That man's face is not okay.
This is exactly like the WoW movie all over again. There's a dwarf show up and you start laughing uncontrollably.
That man basically was a WoW dwarf.
I took Sparrow to see that movie, and when the elves came, like the dwarf, she was like, oh, okay, this is weird, but okay. I see what they were going for. Mind you, she's 5.
Yeah,
But
no,
when
she
the elves
articulated
came
that
on,
well.
She fucking lost it. And she goes, who the fuck are those people?
5-year-old.
She probably did say, who the
Yes.
fuck are those people?
If she's with Jared,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't care if she cusses around me. It doesn't bother me.
It's not your kid.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about other people's kids.
They're not yours.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Yep.
I didn't raise
You could
that
be a
kid.
terrible influence on their lives, and
I
it
get
just
to be
doesn't
their best
matter.
friend, yeah.
Because in the end, if they become more like you can just blame the parent. Be like, well, why
That's
did you
right.
let him hang out
Yeah,
with me?
it's your fault. You know me. You hung out with me. It's not any
You
different.
agreed to date me. Why did you allow me to be around your child?
Pretty much. Pretty much. All right, I'm not reading any of this. This is
Okay.
Anyway, welcome to another riveting edition.
Yeah. So
Another Villains podcast.
Twilight Princess sucks ass. So let's talk about E3.
yeah.
Okay, before we get into E3, why does Twilight Princess suck ass? Because
Yeah.
I don't think this is the best Zelda, but this definitely does not suck ass like Skyward
I
Sword
mean,
does.
yeah, Skyward Sword is bad, but Twilight Princess was bad before Skyward Sword came out. Like, Skyward Sword is another fucking entirely different thing. Like, Twilight Princess is bad in a vacuum. It's not a Zelda game. Like, it doesn't reward or focus on exploration whatsoever. It has the longest, slowest tutorial ever. It's plagued by the whole, here's one item, you're going to use this item in this dungeon like twice and then use it on the boss and then never look at it again. Like, it's one of the worst offenders of that.
I feel like all the 3D Zeldas are that offensive.
Well, yeah, they are, but then you have some, like, you could say, like, Majora's Mask is pretty offensive about that. Like, you get a mask and then use it for one thing. But, like, a lot of those masks actually have multiple uses that just aren't readily apparent. Like,
She's got Down syndrome.
okay. Moving on
Is this
from
our thing
Twilight
now?
Princess.
every increasing podcast, we're gonna make a.
Yep.
All right.
I'm just going to make one more offensive joke and just see how
That's
much
right.
further we can go. With
Tune in
it.
next week to find out what the next one is.
I guess I can understand where you're coming from with Twilight Princess because at least with Ocarina of Time, when it came to having a specific item to do a specific thing, at least it was like new and refreshing.
Yeah, because it was the
like
first one. Yeah,
3D
exactly.
entry to do so.
And the Majora's Mask used the same assets but produced an entirely different game. So you can hate Majora's Mask all you want. I think
Majora's Mask is one of the best.
Yeah,
ones.
it's my favorite 3D Zelda.
Yeah, I agree.
I hated it because I
think-
couldn't beat it.
I think
that was stupid.
The best Zelda is Link Between Worlds. If you disagree, you're shit, because that game is fucking perfect in every way.
From the
It's pretty good.
3DS
mouth
one.
of
It's
Patrick
pretty good.
Aaron, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
I'm
are
buying
shit.
it this week because I haven't played it yet.
you haven't fucking played it. Well, I don't want to overhype it for you, but that game is
That's all I've
perfect in
heard.
every way.
That's all I've heard.
It's really good.
I mean, I can't imagine you have you if you have enjoyed a Zelda game before, like except for Link. If you've enjoyed any of the
Okay.
real Zelda games,
Esperoo.
I mean, I still like the ones on DS.
Can we take
like
a second
Phantom,
to try to
Phantom
pronounce my
Hour-
horse's name?
yeah, it's I don't know how to pronounce the umlaut and then the caret and then the like accent grave over there. I don't know how to pronounce those specifically, but yeah,
Take a crack at it.
it's Esperoo. Yeah, that's how it is.
So yeah, long story
Nicola.
short,
You know Spanish. I don't know.
Basically, this is like some Final Fantasy crossover where
Yeah.
like you tried to illegally port in textures and it just didn't work. So instead of calling it an Esper, it just fucked up. Like Also,
I
that
was
is-
trying to go with like
that font is dangerously close to Comic Sans MS.
Spoopy and Sephiroth at the same time.
Yeah, you nailed it.
They
You
screw up.
fucking nailed it.
I think it's really the unnecessary highlight that's behind it, like as if I didn't already see this.
Yeah, no, I
obnoxious
named it.
font.
I know.
So yeah, E3, that happened. So I guess we should talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of actually. I should never sit over here again. It's kind of actually why we're talking about a Zelda in general, because outside of the general, at least in my opinion, disappointingness of the entire conference, with the exception of one or two titles, I wasn't really excited about literally anything they announced or showed. The Zelda stream was surprisingly refreshing. They looked like they went back to the first Zelda game and kind of like broke down like, hey, what are the roots of a Zelda game? And if we're coming off even some of the people of the team that did Link Between Worlds, like I'm confident, because Link Between Worlds was like, hey, how do we need to figure out what's good about a Zelda game. And it's like, okay, well, we could just make a good Zelda game and then have a really good gimmick. And in this one, it just looks like they're returning to the roots of the first Zelda. And there's a lot of, it seems like it's focusing on exploration. It has a little bit more like combat depth, which, I mean, the combat in the Zelda games has been traditionally pretty bland. I mean, Z targeting pretty much makes everything irrelevant in terms of there's no back and forth in combat. You don't have to worry about like dodging attacks typically. You just kind of wail on your opponent whenever you get the opportunity.
There's no technicality like
They're more
like a Dark Souls
They're
where
more
it's
puzzles.
almost like a puzzle.
Yeah. Well, yeah. the fights in Zelda are more like puzzles, but they're more puzzles as in like they're actual puzzles. Like you have to figure out an actual gimmick and then make the boss vulnerable and then attack it.
Please jump in, anybody at this
Yeah.
point.
I was gonna say I feel like I shouldn't be able to ride the horse right now because it's like drunk driving.
Is that
Like I went fast and immediately was like tree, bam.
now? I need to know: is that your first beverage right there, or have you been constantly filling it up before you got on the horse?
This is my 4th top off since I've been here.
It's pretty solid.
So I've been hitting.
But what
it
about before you got here?
as hard as I can. No,
Hit it
I
very hard.
did not have a drop today.
And that's why you've been so upset until now.
This is why I've been super angry, and now I'm having a great time. Only because the alcohol is here.
Yeah, I'm about to say the Twilight Princess is not the
Not the
reason.
game. It's
I
the fact
literally
you're
just
hanging
came
out
here
with
to
friends.
get drunk.
So just like, yeah, I'm in the podcast, or there's going to be alcohol. Don't worry, I'll bring the alcohol. It's going to be a great fucking time.
That'd be great.
So there's no female link. Like
Yeah,
some people
I'm-
thought.
That is a little upsetting. Like I don't know why it's not.
Did you see what they said about how like the Triforce is Zelda, Link, and Ganondorf, and they didn't want to like break that up by putting in a female Link.
Oh, so
don't
they
see
can
how
have
they
they
would
can have
break
2
that
males,
up,
but they can't have 2 females in the Triforce.
So they can
All
only
right.
have a devil's threesome? That's cool.
The bad
A
threesome.
devil's threesome.
Yeah, the bad threesome. I thought it was interesting to see Zelda kind of just transform into something new.
You can be
'Cause-
vegetarian.
I mean, we didn't
That's
even have
kinda
a glimpse at Zelda, which I thought was pretty cool. They only really, from what I saw, and I watched like an hour and a half of fucking Zelda footage exclusively. That was like my main takeaway from this E3, and I really felt like, I mean, me and you made the joke earlier, like they played a couple hours of Dark Souls, and they were like, "Hey guys, we should make a game about this."
Yeah.
And they happened to be Nintendo developers. So I definitely felt like there was a lot of that, because I actually was just speaking to Dan Prime at Pixelated about how like I would really like if they could somehow find a way to like mesh Zelda and Dark Souls together, because I feel like that would be right up my alley.
and
as
if
far
that's
as games
what-
go.
yeah, and
and
that's what this
is
game is,
exactly
yeah.
what this fucking is. It really is.
I mean, we haven't seen like I don't think we've seen enough gameplay to know, but yeah, it does seem like they're
I mean-
taking cues from
Yeah.
Dark Souls combat
They're-
and returning to the open worldness of the first one.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't seem like it's like an open world where you can like do whatever you want, but at the very least, like it's not a linear progression through
yeah.
the game.
Well, the directors come out and said that if you honestly know what you're doing and know where you need to go, you can go beat the game in like 10 minutes. Like you can go straight to the final boss. That's how open
Wow.
they want this game to be.
I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like
I don't know if that's a
Well,
thing.
I don't know if I
maybe
like it.
yeah,
But
no, I'm saying yeah, I
that's
don't.
The idea of how open they want this game to be is
Maybe
to be
go-
able to just go to a world
Maybe you
and
can
just
do everything
do
in any
whatever you
order.
want.
Mass Effect 2 also suffered from that, and also benefited from it at the same time.
I didn't play enough Mass Effect 2 to know.
Mass Effect 2 is a game where you can start the game, and as soon as you start, you could literally just jump to the end of the game.
Okay.
You would
But-
die.
Everything
but you could do
and
it.
everyone you know fucking suffers for it. The more prepared you are, the more time you take, certain things suffer, and certain things give you a boon at the end of the game. So it just depends. I mean, there are people who can like perfect the game, and I spent like a playthrough doing it, so that way everybody survives, and that's like where you have the fastest playthrough that you can do. So, I mean, it's not exactly hard, but it's also
Yeah.
not a hard game.
Not
played-
not until you crank up the difficulty.
I played a
even
couple
then.
hours and never really
I was
finished
gonna
it.
say I played it on the hardest difficulty available all the way through the series, and I never really felt like it was at an infuriating dark level.
I'm just afraid it's going to end up alienating. I mean, I don't care because personally, this is the type of Zelda game that I've been hoping for. It's something to where I can just do whatever I feel like. But I'm also afraid that it's going to alienate a lot of people who kind of need that linearity in video games, where they kind of need a sense of direction.
But
And it seems like they're going to throw at least a little bit in, because they showed like the old man in the beginning that's like, well, here's a couple of like things you can look at while you're here. But how much direction they're going to put in because it is Nintendo and they do like making games that are friendly to all ages. How much of direction are they really going to put in this? Or is this truly going to be, here's a world, fuck you, you may not even find a sword, go kill things, like whatever.
I mean, the original game was friendly to people of all ages. It also...
The game was really fucking hard. I don't know about that.
I didn't think it was super hard.
I think it's pretty hard. As a kid, yeah.
I beat A Link to the Past first, admittedly. But that game was out because I was a kid.
Yeah.
Then we got an NES, and then I was playing NES games, and then I beat that one, I think, when I was in like 4th or 5th grade. Granted, I did not beat Ocarina of Time until I was in like my teenage years.
Ocarina took me like 2 months to beat.
Yeah.
It took me a lot longer. I would get bored in dungeons.
Spent a lot of time fishing.
Yeah, I have like ADD. Yeah, I like wanted to be drunk perpetually, even as a child, and didn't know it. So, like without
that's
alcohol,
true alcoholism right there.
This is the intervention cast.
Yeah.
Without alcohol to be my crutch, I just kind of fucking like everybody was like, "Oh, it's cool. He's got the ADD, nothing." Yeah,
he's got the AIDS.
he's got the AIDS.
But going back to what Chris said, like. I mean, we see how popular Dark Souls is. We see how popular that genre is getting and how it's permeating other genres everywhere. And I think Nintendo, like, yeah, granted they like making games for every audience, but maybe they're just trying to like kind of reset a little bit. It's a different head of office now, different CEO after Iwata, and maybe they're just kind of saying, hey, like, we're just going to make this a real open world game where you can do whatever you want, and obviously sprinkle in some hints for people and tell them like, hey, you can go do this, or this is where you should be going, because like every good game has that anyway. No game is truly open world. No game is going to just drop you in there like Gary's Mod, Goat Simulator. Like those games maybe like just drop you in a world to do stuff, but no like AAA game is going to come out and just not have a little bit of direction. But at the same time, going back, maybe they're just trying to reset. Maybe they're trying to start new. The Wii U is certifiably a failure. It did not work for them. They did not sell a lot of copies, and that's why this game, which was supposed to... This game was announced, or not announced, but like teased early in the Wii U's life cycle and just kept getting pushed back, and we're not going to talk about Zelda at E3 this year. We're not going to talk about Zelda at E3 this year. And it's been pushed back essentially to the end of the life cycle of the console, and to dual release again with the next console, because it's coming out on the NX as well. And maybe they're just with the NX, they're just like, all right, we just need a new path, a new strategic path of action.
Which is why on the NX this should be rated M.
Wait,
yeah, just like the what was that game?
I missed
that. No, there was a Wii game where there was a big uproar because you like did the sawing motion to cut some dude's head off or whatever.
Is it Mad World?
Postal maybe?
Postal wasn't on.
The only
Wii.
thing I can think of is
Mad World was
yeah,
like
that's the hero
that I can
doing
the jack off sword thing.
Or is it No More Heroes?
It wasn't No More Heroes.
No?
It was like
I know that one you had to jack off to power up your sword.
Was it like Manhunt 2?
No. See here, the issue was people were upset because like you actually like it was like a murder simulator.
Manhunt 2?
There it is. Yeah, that's what it was. Where you literally like did the sawing motion with the Wiimote to cut some dude's head off, and the sensors were like, no.
Did you test this before? Well, I give Nintendo credit for realizing that. I mean, they know that the Wii U is a failure to the point where even when they're developing this new Zelda for Wii U, a lot of the gimmicks that they use the Wii U controller for, like throwing the map on the bottom screen or doing some sort of like item management stuff on the bottom screen on the actual controller, they've gotten to the point where now in this new Zelda, they've come out and said, yeah, we don't want to do that with this one because we realize it's really fucking distracting to look at the TV, then look down, then look at the TV, then look down. So it's ballsy for them to not only make the decision to make an entirely new Zelda, but also for them to be like, yeah, we totally fucked up with this Wii U thing. It wasn't exactly the best idea. So now we want people who did buy into it to get rewarded with hopefully a decent Zelda game, but also to push it back so far in the life cycle that the NX can, obviously ride the coattails because this will be a system seller by far with the way that people have fucking responded to this. Like, have you seen the GIFs of people running the last day of E3 just to go play this fucking demo?
Have you seen the pictures of the fact that the fucking Naughty America porn booth was the single most attended booth at all of E3?
As it should be.
The VR porn booth, yeah.
As it should be.
I wonder how many awkward boners were there.
All of the awkward boners.
I mean, my awkward
they were all there.
I don't know if my boner would be awkward.
The entire time.
Well, I mean, like,
I would be
you go into
proudly
the booth,
displaying it.
and then you walk out of the booth with a hard on.
It's
or what if it's the other way around? What if you walk in the booth with a hard on and come out just completely flaccid?
Guys, I
ending.
just heard
Just
it
fucking
10
killed
fucking
me.
goats. I am done with this fucking game.
Yeah.
Can I play anything the fuck else?
Do you have Wind Waker? Because Wind Waker not only
Holy
starts off
shit.
strong,
I
is
do have
amazing.
Wind Waker, so
No, just I don't.
what do you
oh my
want to do?
God, I don't.
Dude, you're playing Red Dead Redemption right
I
now.
just want to eat more chicken wings and jerk off and take a nap. This is awful.
You want a Napster?
Yeah, I want a nap.
Napster bait.
Yeah, that's what we said that you did before you came
No.
here.
I mean, do you want to
Pretty
trade?
much.
I can play, and then
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Well,
You gotta move seats, yeah.
You're gonna lose your red mic.
yeah, you don't get the red mic anymore.
fuck that. I'm gonna take the little soft.
I would just like to let everyone know that
You've been passed
that
by.
microphone was just all up in Chris's junk.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
Show was.
all right, now we're changing all the mic heads and all the ones that are labeled weird and shit.
I mean, we can.
We could just throw in some editing sounds like we did in the last podcast episode.
That was great.
Like where it dropped out.
I actually didn't get that far.
He
It
put in
dropped out
the
for
transforming.
Yeah,
30 seconds, and then Dan just put it in the Transformers. Like
That's great.
That's good stuff.
he's doing a good job. He's a lot better than all of us, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what other games besides the porn adventures excited you in E3? Because clearly nothing did. But what two other games actually got you hard?
Okay, first one. Let's get the obvious out of the way, especially off of last week's podcast. Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3 remastered for PS4.
Yup.
Warped was the best.
I'm gonna go with 2, but
Honestly, never played any of them.
that's fine.
Cool. Now you get to.
Fuck you, you're
Now I
shit.
get to.
in HD.
Yeah. Hey, wait, you've never played a Crash Bandicoot game?
I've never played a Crash Bandicoot
So
game.
the
That's
only
good.
thing
That's
you've
gonna we're gonna
played-
record that.
The only thing you've played is like the part in
fucking
in
Uncharted Crash Bandicoot 1.
That was pretty much like the extent of
Okay,
my Crash
yeah,
Bandicoot
we're gonna
experience.
have to get together, me and you. We'll try maybe one more, and we're just gonna record you playing
needs
through
to
all the
happen.
Crash games.
It's solid.
Those games are.
I hear it's pretty good.
Those games are great.
classics.
Like if you
I bought
number
them.
4.
I bought them, or at least like the first one on like the PlayStation Network. I just never played it because I think my roommate played it,
Okay.
but I just for whatever reason didn't.
Yeah. Well.
I'm just
Anyway.
glad it's not just the Skylanders thing.
Yeah. When I got. It was about awkward boners. That was like a painful boner. It was like Crash Bandicoot. No, it's gone. All right, it's fucking ruined. We're just fucking
Okay, so imagine
Skylanders.
me sitting at work watching these E3 press conferences without the sound. I'm only going based on video, so I don't hear the part where he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna remaster 1, 2, and 3," but I see all the Crash Bandicoot shit, and then Skylanders comes out, and I'm like, "What the fuck
Yeah, I
is
was
this shit?"
really upset.
So what's the other thing that got you
what else?
excited?
Well, I mean, I'm excited for Dishonored 2. They showed a little bit of that. I think Dishonored 1's a pretty good game. I like the setting.
So those are your two games.
Yeah, there's a couple other things I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I'm trying to think. Anyone else?
Right.
There was
You're like, "That's it. That's all I've got."
There was another remaster or something that was supposed to happen.
Skyrim.
I'm not excited about that, but
Considering
as
that
it
I've
turns
owned
out.
it since it came out.
yeah, considering I literally played like 4 hours of that game with hella mods like 6 months ago, so I basically already played Skyrim remastered.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted by Corgi
I mean,
Butt.
I've. What did you guys think of Scorpio?
Well, we're
Don't
going
care.
down the games list.
Yeah, but there isn't really anything that's. Do you
No
do you want to
game.
volunteer yourself to appreciate a game that was at E3?
Yeah,
All
two.
right, we'll do it.
We're going with two.
Do it.
Do it.
Resident Evil 7.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Dude, it's like
It's like, all right, fuck you.
I'll give. They have a little bit more. They have a little bit more good faith left.
I didn't think this was gonna happen.
I did not either. I thought they were done making bad games, but clearly they've got one more in them.
I guess we'll
Listen,
see what
this
happens.
is Capcom, okay? They put out Street Fighter V with a smile on their face. They are totally capable of making shit games still.
Yeah, they are.
God, the next Resident Evil is just going to be like download the story. as it
Everyone's
comes
so
out.
excited about Dead Rising 4, and I'm just like, dude, do you not remember the last one? 3 was terrible. Like, 2 was great. 3 was awful. But people, I don't know. People try to defend
So,
3. It was bad.
I think Capcom has got a little bit of good faith left. Like, there's not much in the bucket, but I mean, after like 5 was not terrible. 6 was. Let's not talk about 6.
Okay, so 5 was only enjoyable because watching you do the QTEs was the most hilarious
Because
thing.
we literally, the three of us played through it multiplaer in various capacities.
Let's set the story straight. He cheated on me with you. Fucking bastard. I got the game early.
Yeah,
Because
well,
because of that mom and pop stuff.
I got
Game Force likes to break street.
I got Pokemon Diamond and Pearl like a week
So
and a half early from that place.
Nice.
I texted him and I was like, "Hey, dude, get on Xbox Live." And I pressed start, and he just hung up, and he was at my house in like 4 minutes. And then I got home from wherever the fuck I was, and I got online, and you two were playing, and I was like, "The fuck?" So they played co-op, and I had to beat the game with Sheva, that stupid AI bitch.
With
But
the
Chris had to play Sheva.
I had to play with Patrick, so I think you.
that's the
I think
best
you
part,
did a lot
is
better than me.
We were like at the same like ending boss battle, and then it goes to the part where you're in the plane, and I can just
rupees.
hear Chris going, "Patrick, Patrick, Patrick,
It's the end. It's
press X, Patrick, press X."
So it's the scene at the very end of the game where we're fighting in the fucking plane. It's the most ridiculous like kung fu like punch him,
and then you finish the game, and an ending cutscene starts, and then you put the controller down like every sane person would do to watch the ending cutscene, and then you have to press X to not fall out of the plane. And I fell out of the plane.
and it's great because it's just Sheva just slowly falling out of the plane, and I'm like Patrick, and then all I hear is. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, it totally told me to press a button and I did it. You died.
It was great.
QTEs are shit.
What
Quick time
started
events
it?
are pretty rough.
Do we know where the fucking beginning of QTEs was?
I mean,
God of War.
yeah, God of War was a QTE. There
Yeah,
were some
there was
QTEs in
one-
Devil May Cry, I
Yeah.
believe.
And then the first time like where I experienced them, where I was like, "This is the worst thing ever," because at least in God of War, like I was like, "Wow, I'm doing cool fucking shit." The first time I was like, "This is literal shit." I enjoy shits more than I enjoy this game. Was Call of Duty Modern Warfare?
Wait, there are QTEs in that game?
Yes, where they're like, "Press B,
Okay.
Press F to pay
So,
respects.
press B again."
When I first heard about a QuickTime event in a game,
Shit!
they were like, yeah, there's going to be a QTE where you have to do things. And I, for whatever reason, I thought like active time
baby
event, like from
Moses.
Final Fantasy IX. And I was like, well, those were kind of shitty. That sounds boring. But it turns out they were even worse.
Shit.
The worst one I can think of is Resident Evil 4. That whole fight with Jack, where it's just a
with Krauser?
where it's just a whole FMV sequence where you want to watch, but you have to.
You have to be an
you're
active
pressing.
participant.
I'm pretty sure
instead.
Shinmu was one of the first QTE games.
Yeah, I never played Shenmue, so
Yeah.
my first experience was God of War, and at least God of War made you feel fucking sweet because you
Yeah,
have
'cause
that
you-
Medusa head, and it's like
Yeah.
mash square to rip head off.
But also, the QuickTime events happened in the middle of combat, so it was total like
It wasn't during a
it wasn't.
cutscene.
Yeah, it wasn't unreasonable to expect the person to be hands-on controller and actively paying attention to like stimuli like that. Whereas like you beat a game, you're watching an end cutscene, you're just like chilling. You're like, yeah, I beat the fucking game. Fuck you. Maybe you get up and get a drink. You know. Maybe your controller is not near you at the time.
Get up and unload all those 64 ounces of Mountain Dew you just drank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to relax and be told a little bit of a story while you just fucking nailed that part in the game, and it's like, oh, by the way, you
And
just
then you get to do it again
It
because
was
you
the
didn't
same
fucking
thing
press
where
X.
It was the scene in 5 where with the fucking motorcycles where you're like, oh, this is a really cool cut. You just got cut in half. You didn't press X, Y at the right time.
The boulder part.
Oh, I-
You
Remember
had
that?
to punch the boulder.
Yeah, you punched the fucking boulder.
For a minute, Chris, I thought you were going to bring up another part in 5 where you hated me.
I mean, what part didn't I hate you in that game?
The temple run.
Oh,
as
yeah,
it
Temple
was.
Run where you had to like mash A, press X, mash A,
That's like
press
when I
Y.
first got my 360, and I'm PlayStation all the way, so I was used to, X, the different positions. Nope, I kept fucking it up. And he's like, God damn it, if you don't get this next one, we're not fucking playing anymore.
Luckily, you got through. We were able to continue to be friends.
Yeah, the ultimatum worked.
The ultimato finally did it. All right, so besides Resident Evil, what's the other game? Because you said
Horizon.
Okay, yeah, I can see
Dawn.
that.
Zero Dawn.
It did get pushed back, but I'm vaguely excited for
We
it.
did talk of God of War. It looks cool. I kind of wish it wasn't Kratos, though.
I feel like any of those 3 words make a popular game, though.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero.
Yeah, if you add a Zero,
That's actually
a
the
Dawn,
sequel
or a
to
Horizon
Black Hawk
on
Down.
any fucking game, it's a sequel. Like
Also,
Mass Effect, Horizon, Zelda, Dawn,
So
Rising Dead, Zero.
Horizon Zero Dawn might be the worst video game title for describing what that game is about in history.
True.
Yeah, as it turns out, like I talked so much shit about that game.
Thinking it was something else, or
I didn't know what the fuck it was. I was just like,
Oh, it's just some shitty FPS.
Yeah, it was like I had nothing to go off of the name, and then like there was just speculation on Reddit, and then it finally came up, and I was like, oh, okay, it's actually good. I feel like a piece of shit now.
So that game sounds like it should
Maybe they
already be in the $5 bin at GameStop.
Yeah, maybe they should have
like-
came up with a better fucking name, like
Yeah.
piece of trash.
Metal
Division.
robot dinosaurs.
The Division.
Turok. No, I think
We
that
got
was already taken.
shit. Yeah, things went way
Yeah.
downhill there real quick.
The only thing that turned me off about Horizon Zero Dawn was everything about the demo looked really cool. The environments looked really neat. The fact that you're a
Are you
female
fucking
lead
fishing?
character- Yeah, you have to fish for
This
the
is
fucking...
awful.
You have
Yes.
to fish for the fucking cat. There's a cat. I have
on.
to feed the cat. Fish on.
Fish
I'm
on.
angry for you.
I have a fish for the cat.
Your dog thinks
It's a green
things are
gill.
going wrong.
Oh my god, this game is giving me
See,
an
the
aneurysm.
cat took it. He took it. Now I have to follow the cat.
I'm gonna die young
Anyway,
because Zelda can
the
figure
thing,
their
the
shit
thing
out.
that scared me about Horizon Zero Dawn was the radial text dialogue options. And I'm wondering why the fuck is that in that game? Because even games that I love very dearly, like Mass Effect as a series, I
Got rid of it?
still own it. Thank you.
No, I'm saying didn't they kind of get rid of the radial thing, or did
No, it was in all. It was in all
That's on
three.
all the games.
Yeah.
But ultimately,
It was just more over the shoulder.
much like
in 3.
much like the game, your choices didn't fucking matter. So why are you
Fallout
gonna,
4? All like the radial wheel in Fallout 4?
Oh, shots fucking fired.
Have you ever if literally any dialogue in that game ends up at the same place?
Yeah.
Like it's really
Yeah.
dumb.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make. Is they added this extra feature. It's like, oh, there's going to be branching dialogue and stuff. It's never going to fucking matter because no game developer is going to understand the idea that choice in games don't really exist because you still want us to get to the same fucking endpoint.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that kind of perturbed me about that game. Other than that, it looked great.
The issue is, Patrick's taking pictures of the sky.
It's really cute.
Yeah, he
He's like,
is.
hey, how's it
Jumping
going?
on me.
He's a cute piece of shit.
Come here. How's it going?
Yeah, I mean, it's developers seem to have this, and it's not developers. I take it back. It's project managers. It's directors. They seem to have this end goal that just cannot be changed whatsoever. Like we have to come to this divergent point. And if we don't get there, then something's wrong. Instead of just saying it's okay if maybe 10% of our player base picks an ending that leads them to a completely different space, or picks a choice, a pivotal moment where they go a completely different direction in game. And it's okay if we spend money that only 10% of our player base is going to utilize to get there, because at least then, even if only 10% of your player base is satisfied, at the end of the day, I even though I'm probably not going to fall in that 10% because I'm a fucking peasant, like that still makes me happy. I was not happy with the pick your favorite color ending of Mass Effect.
The Roopers?
Yeah.
The
And-
Roopers.
And it's a lot of games have been disappointing, but at the same time, game developers don't exist to make me happy or to make me feel fulfilled. They exist to charge me $64.99 or $64.19 after tax, I believe it is, for a new game, and that's pretty much it. So, looking at the industry, they've got a lot of weight on their shoulders, and it comes from higher sources. So I get why it happens. I just wish it wouldn't.
Chris, did you have 2 games from E3 that you wanted to talk about? You wanted to show the class?
Yeah.
Well,
A show and tell.
he said one of them because I was actually pretty stoked about Resident Evil 7 for numerous reasons. Number one, I was surprised that it was even announced because I had known for a while that it was in development, but it seemed like one of those things where it seemed like it was going to be a project they were going to work on for a really long time and kind of milk it out as long as they can to find a new direction, because they had mentioned that they wanted to get away from the shitstorm that was 6. And then they came out with the trailer came out, and at first you didn't realize it was Resident Evil. It was kind of like this horror game that
I thought it was
seemed
like
a little
Outlast
bit
2 or something.
Yeah, it seemed like either like maybe like The Last of Us 2, or it was like maybe, oh shit, maybe they're picking PT up, somebody picked it up and they're going to finish it. And then you find out that no, it's Resident Evil 7, and then they even go as far as to say, oh, by the way, there's a fucking demo that you can play after the announcements are over.
How was that demo?
The demo was actually not bad. And I say that knowing full well that anybody who played the PT demo will probably look at this and be like, what the fuck is this PT ripoff?
Right.
When in actuality, it was being made at the same time PT was being made. So it's enjoyable. It doesn't really explain anything as far as the story goes, from what I understand. The demo is not in the game. It's more of just like a technical demo of what to expect as far as gameplay. And I like the idea that they are completely going away from what 5, 6, and 4 were, where it's very claustrophobic. You're not getting thrown 30 enemies at a time at you and expect to blow them all up with grenades. They're going to be meaningful encounters, and it's going to be overall an aesthetic change that I think could potentially be good.
Best part, still has the classic door openings from
It's
the
a-
OG games.
Except this time they're real time.
My favorite part about the Zelda release, the part that I'm like most excited about, was that treasure chests are no longer awful.
Da 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 da.
Yeah. You didn't spend a year. Now, granted, I did like rip the fuck out of it for putting like a shirt in one chest and then a pair of pants directly in another chest that could like.
Have easily been in the same
Yeah.
chest.
I
You
was
got
like,
the
why can't there be
clothes.
actual multiple
got the
items that
clothes.
make sense in fucking chests that are like, you know, the size of this entertainment system right here?
So are you gardening now?
I have to get
Yes.
money.
He's a.
Not only
get
did he
that
garden, but
slingshot.
this is
he's
the
been doing
expansion of Stardew
falconry
Valley.
in the last half hour.
Stardew Valley is way fucking better than this game. You take that back.
Yo, don't waste food.
Yeah, there's fucking people
Fuck
starving in Hialeah.
Don't waste food again.
Which I'm excited that's going to make it to Xbox One.
But I am super excited to not cut through grass
play
for
that on-
rupees
I don't know
or
about Mac.
Yeah,
you
just
guys are Mac.
cut up, like break jars for hearts.
Chris,
Yeah.
so what's the.
It's a new
I don't
dawn.
really have a number 2 because
It's a new day.
I'm kind of with Patrick that a lot of games were like, okay, well, if you live up to the promises that you're saying, it could be a good game. But God of War 4 or whatever the fuck you want to call it doesn't look exciting because I think it's falling into the Last of Us trap where everything is slow and methodical and brutal, and they're trying to envelop a story that involves their son, which I don't think is going to really be that interesting because Kratos is all about fucking just killing shit and not giving a fuck about anybody. But why does all of a sudden he have a son that he's actually going to give a shit about? I think there's a twist in there where you're actually going to play as a son in the game, but that's a whole different conversation I can have. I would say not necessarily a game, but a concept that Xbox is essentially becoming PC
Yeah.
is exciting and terrifying at the same time. Because I think if they get out of their own asses and not try to defend their IPs with really shitty DRM, they could potentially have a lot of power in the market because now they can make games that not only people who want to pay console prices for games can have, but now people who own PCs can get the games that some people have been wanting for a really long time. One of the things that excited me is, even though I'm not a Forza player, reading that, okay, Forza is going to be kind of locked at 1080, 30 frames on Xbox, but if you get it on PC, it's completely unlocked. You can play it in 4K, you can play it in 1440, whatever frame rate your computer can handle. And I think that's a really good idea that they're bringing crossplay and bringing all of their IPs across, because all you're really doing at that point is making your Xbox market even bigger, because now you can say, well, you guys can all play together, but you don't need a big old PC to play it. You can honestly get a $250 Xbox and still get almost the same experience out of it. So I'm excited at the prospect of, Halo eventually making its way to the PC where it honestly fucking belongs.
I mean, I've been excited for that prospect for 20 years. So
I think a PC release of Halo could actually revitalize that game a little bit.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I mean, they put out the first one.
It can bring balance to the Force.
The problem is Halo 1 never got below $30 for PC. And then Halo 2 never got below $50 for PC.
And they never added.
I'm sorry, but fuck you.
They never
we
added
have Steam
multiplayer.
Yeah, and we
games.
definitely have far better multiplayer servers for any other game that's ever been multiplayer. Ever. And the single player game for Halo 1 and 2 has never been that fucking riveting that it's worth $20 or $30 after a 3-year release of another fucking game on a different console anyway, where we're only getting shittier graphics. So, on behalf of all of the world, fuck you, Microsoft. Fuck you hard. But I think, this is definitely an opportunity for them to turn a new leaf. I think it would be cool.
Well, I like that
I'm excited for Scorpio.
It seems like they're getting rid of the idea of console generations by basically creating new iterations every 2 to 3 years.
Kind of like Apple does.
Instead of waiting, 6 to 8 years every cycle to bring out a new console, they're we're updating it. All of the games are going to be able to run on everything. It's just now companies can create optimization to run in 4K or to run in higher specs, basically like PCs. They're making essentially Steam machines, just Microsoft branded Steam machines.
I mean, there's obviously
controller based.
There's obviously a cutoff there, though. Eventually, if they just iterate and they don't separate the genre, the generations, eventually you're gonna have to be okay, this next Xbox One is where games can be made that don't work on the first Xbox One or the first PS4
But that's the way phones are.
I understand, but it's gonna take a while to indoctrinate the consumer base to that model, because it took a while for Apple to do it, and now it's just a given, and it's the same thing. You're gonna have to make it worth people's while. That's the most important part to me. You're gonna have to make it worth spending money on these iterative consoles by putting out fucking games.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it always comes down to? As long as you make good content, people will still keep fucking buying.
But at the same time, it works because the PS3 flopped at release, but by the end of the generation, it had a pretty respectable library. And
now the PS4 is admirable.
But it's not even just that. I'm saying the PS3 had 6 years to generate a library to make it a respectable console by the end of the generation, whereas you keep iterating on these consoles and name 10 console exclusives that you have to play. And I'm saying overall,
they're all going to be PC games.
But I'm also saying overall. I'm not even saying just Xbox One console exclusives. I'm saying you can't name 10 PS4 and Xbox One exclusives that aren't on PC that are must plays. I would say Bloodborne and Last of Us are 2 must plays for the recent Sony releases, and I don't know. I don't have an Xbox One. Red Dead, obviously from last generation, but
that wasn't exclusive.
No, it was.
But it's not on PC.
Platform.
It's not on PC.
Right. It is fair console only. So that's sort of exclusive.
I'm saying a console is that's why I was kind of grouping them both together, because if you have one or the other, you're a console buyer. Not everyone buys even one console, and a lot of people just play nothing but PC games, and because you can do other things on your PC.
Well, I thought Red Dead was good, but I would never say that I would absolutely need to play it.
I would tell you that you should buy a 360 or a PS3 and go play Red Dead Redemption.
All right. Well, we're at that agree to disagree moment.
That's fine.
And here's the difference between season 1 and 2.
We could just let that go.
And the conversation ended.
I really absolutely respect your opinion in every single way. And there's definitely no way that I could argue that you're wrong.
Yeah, if you don't like Red Dead, there's nothing I could do about it.
I love Red Dead. I really do.
Fucking amazing and the best game of last generation.
Yeah, I'm definitely I come from a different crowd of player base altogether. I am definitely like the lazy end of our generational player base, and then the dueling, like after your third tier of dueling, I was just like, wow, this went awful really quick. And that stuck with me.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'm just a negative player where things ride on me really fucking hard. That's what she said. Hey, Dan Prime.
He's wearing the belt, which means
they won.
He did fucking good.
Oh snap!
You didn't win,
But you still got a
but
belt.
you got the belt.
The cream.
The cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop.
So basically,
Oh yeah.
I was like to point out that Twilight Princess has been on for like over an hour now,
And it's awful.
and
And I'm still in the fucking village.
It's
you
hurting.
literally have not done a single thing in this game. You fished, which is irrelevant. Like, who cares?
well, Jared did spend like 20 minutes drunk
what
riding.
the fuck is on that man's face? What is on that man's face?
He's an orc. I spent like 10 minutes
actually,
drunkenly
Dorotar.
herding goats.
Herd, motherfucker.
Wait, are you judo throwing?
Yeah, he's
goats?
like goat
Yeah,
wrestling now.
Just goat wrestled.
Oh, that's
Wrestled
cool.
a fucking goat, and he calmed his ass down.
I wrestled a goat once.
Kind of hate you for that.
Sorry.
That hurts.
You didn't hear last podcast music joke.
Oh yeah, the armor for sleep one.
Yeah, that's okay. I
Hey,
never
look, it's
listen
that
to Armor
dog.
for sleep. So
Hi, other dog.
hi, Fox Dog.
Fox dog.
Jared, was there anything that excited you in E3 besides
Zelda?
Zelda?
I mean, even Zelda, like, since I've been in such a shitty mood this entire fucking week, all I wanted to do was find a reason to hate it anyways. So, like, I really feel like when me and Patrick were joking earlier that, like, it stole a page out of the Dark Souls developers book, which is fine, because, I mean, now that Dan's here, this is exactly what I said was going to happen and that I was hoping would happen, where it would start to blend in with Dark Souls, and we would have a real open world and real dungeon exploring again, and not a real tutorial. So that's exactly where I want it to be. So I definitely don't want to herd fucking goats in Zelda, and this has been a prime
I'm
example
okay.
of what I want versus what I don't want out of Zelda.
I'm okay herding goats in Zelda, but not as, hey, you have to do this at the beginning of the game. Like, make it a side quest where I can go, like, have a goat army or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
Or-
let me herd goats.
Or you can be like, fuck you, I don't want this
Yeah.
art piece
Yeah, exactly.
for this
I'm not
fucking
working
reward.
So I actually
Yeah.
have remembered a couple more games that one I'm interested in, one I'm interested in talking about. I'm very interested in Civilization 6. I hope it looks
Yeah.
better than Beyond Earth. But more importantly, let's talk about the new South Park game.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
How the fuck did I forget about that?
Fractured Butthole, which sounds like a fucking Dark Souls 3 or Dark Souls 2 message you'd put in front of a tree.
It just sounds like a Dark Souls meme in general.
That game looks freaking great.
So I really enjoyed Stick of Truth. I thought it was a fantastic game. I don't know if I'm ready for another South Park game already.
It's been a while though.
It has been a
has.
while,
It was 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years.
And-
but it was also like 8 years before that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Also, that game was really short, and I felt like it kind of, even though it was short, it kind of dragged on at the end. The combat was pretty much impossible to be bad at.
I mean, it wasn't perfect, but the fact that we had gotten to the point where Obsidian was like, "Hey, South Park, we want to do a fucking RPG. Let's make it happen."
Yeah, I'm
This-
excited.
this is-
I'm excited for it. I'm glad it's coming out.
This was also a fucking mark for Obsidian, because this was like the first great game that they ever did.
I mean,
Name a great game that they ever did.
New Vegas.
yeah.
That was a good game, not a great game. I'm
New
sorry.
Vegas is better.
No, it was not a
New
great game.
New Vegas.
New Vegas was not a great game.
New
I
Vegas
would
is
even
better
argue
than
that New
South
Vegas
Park.
was okay.
New Vegas is
No,
better
it was
than
not.
South Park.
Not at all. But
I disagree with
agree
you.
to disagree. No, I had way more fun playing South Park than I did New Vegas.
I'm gonna double check something real quick, so I don't want to make a fool of myself. But
Are you going to look up all the games
They
Obsidian
did New Vegas.
no, they have a much older.
Didn't they
game.
do like a Neverwinter game?
They also did a fucking KOTOR game. They did Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Which
And I
was
feel
great
I feel
until the end.
I can't That's the thing I won't back down on. That's like the reason me and them are at odds. Even though they're like, I don't give a shit about this peasant. like I give a shit about them. I'm gonna hate on them for the fucking remainder of my lifetime, which is
KOTOR 2 was
only
their first
another
game,
2
so
minutes
they
in
can
this
visit
liver.
But Pillars of Eternity is a game they released, and that's not terrible.
I agree. Yeah. I don't know.
I think both of those are better than South Park, New Vegas, and Pillars of Eternity.
Fair enough. I mean, maybe it's just because I've always grown up with South Park.
So have I. I mean, I've gotten decidedly out of that show lately. I think it's terrible now, but
I will admit that I
Wooden sword. Sorry.
you sharpen it more. You like just make the tip more tapered.
I got hit with the nostalgia train probably harder than anybody else out of our group in terms of every game. And in terms of like the Warcraft movie too. Like I definitely walked away with that, I think, being like the most positive out of all of us.
No, I mean I literally resubbed to World of Warcraft the next day. Like that
Fair
game.
enough.
So did I.
Yeah, like
That's why we're all rolling again.
I mean, I'm like
I used gold, so they didn't
me
really
and Chris
get me.
We're talking about it earlier and how like I even play like Warcraft 1 to this.
Oh, look. It's the sword tutorial an hour and a half into fucking Twilight
Hey,
Princess.
you cannot skip because they're like, oh, come on, man. Don't be that kind of guy. Show us how to swing a sword.
Oh, you did a
They're from fucking New Jersey? Like, what the fuck? They're Joey Wheeler from fucking Yu-Gi-Oh?
over
Tell me that Downsy looking character is not from New Jersey.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got
I think
against
they
people
all
from New
have Down
Jersey, bro?
I'm from New
Like,
Jersey. I know what's there. Thank you.
it's those two, exactly like those.
It's my
two.
cousin.
This is confirming my
Felicia.
suspicion that all people from Jersey have Down syndrome.
Sure, it's New York with Downs.
Yeah.
That's New Jersey.
Pretty much. Can confirm. Been there before.
What are you doing over here, Link? Swing your sword horizontal like. You oof my goof.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Go to Pat's Cheesesteaks. That's Philadelphia. I don't know.
And with that, I have nothing to say anymore.
I was
Like,
really
I'm
hoping we
fucking
would be able
done.
to get to a point in the actual game
No.
of Zelda.
That's why
we would stop.
That is why I suggested we do Wind Waker, because within 10 minutes you're actually doing a thing in Wind Waker.
Yeah, but I had played Wind Waker. Like I never
For
played
a reason, because it's a good game.
As it turns out,
There was another.
I was mistaken. I
Another game that
apologize.
surprised me at E3.
All right.
Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah, I actually thought about that a little bit too.
PS4 exclusive.
I mean, that was the most surprising part to me.
Spider-Man. That's all I have to say about
I
it.
love
Because they
the
didn't show
Batman
off any
games,
gameplay, so
and
I have nothing to
I've
say
been
about
waiting
it.
for like a new who's gonna do the next game to challenge.
But is it gonna be?
those.
Is it gonna be just Arkham, but with Spider-Man and web slinging?
Well,
I mean,
it's
it's
Insomniac,
Insomniac.
so it's gonna be like Sucker Punch Spider, or not Sucker Punch. Wow, the fuck was that game called?
You lost
Sunset
me.
Overdrive.
So Spider-Man's
Sure.
gonna get some like rollerblades and
Well, I mean, like I guess like the mechanics of how you move, because it's from the same people.
Yeah.
And when I saw that trailer, I got like nostalgic for the PS1 Spider-Man games that came out that Neversoft did, that I still think are good and better than the shitty ones that came out. Looking at you, Web of Shadows.
Web of Shadows. I don't even know what that game is, but that is a fucking awful name.
Let me tell you, of all the times that I played a Spider-Man game in my life, it's been never.
Yeah,
It's,
never.
it's up there with Crash Bandicoot with never.
Well, Crash Bandicoot's actually good.
We'll get around to it eventually.
You'll find out when those HD remasters
Yeah, we're gonna play
No,
those.
fuck that.
You're
Why-
gonna wear a
why, why
wig,
wait for those?
and you're
Because
gonna
that's when you see them, they're gonna come out in like the next year.
No, they're not. They had nothing to show.
They're fucking.
They're like,
They're
hey,
just
we're doing
PS1
it.
games.
Yeah,
of
they'll,
that-
they'll
Hey,
take
we're
like
doing it. Okay.
they'll take like 30 fucking minutes to fucking put out. All they have to do is just raise
Then
height.
why didn't they show us?
I would just
anything?
like
They're
to
just
say that I heartily
Hey, by the way, we're
disagree.
doing
All
it.
right, they literally phoned it in. They were like, "Oh, Microsoft actually brought it this year. Maybe we should do something." They're like, "Crash Bandicoot, re-release it." And they were like, "Oh, okay. Hey guys, blah 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 blah."
We're gonna do it, and everyone
Yeah.
is sitting there in the development office is like,
All
"Fuck!
right, cool.
All right, we're doing it."
Yeah, everybody's like, "Sweet, break out your PS1s."
We're
It takes a long time. He's just mad because he's gonna buy Crash Bandicoot on the PS1 emulator and then buy the HD remake.
I think I already own Crash Bandicoot
Good.
somewhere.
Why haven't you played it?
I don't fucking know.
Well, let's play it then.
Here's the thing about me and buying
Yeah,
games.
that would be
is I
way
have,
better right now.
If you were to look at my Steam library right now,
Library?
it's like library. My Steam library.
He's from Jersey.
He's got downs.
I went to the library. I have 200 games. Only played about 10 of them. It's pretty accurate in my life.
Oh, you made it to double digits.
Yeah.
There you go.
It finally gave me that token.
Yeah, here's the thing. Between Dark Souls and World of Warcraft, I'm surprised I've played any other game.
Overwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I actually haven't played Overwatch in like 4 days.
Are you all right?
I got into a game of Overwatch with a group of friends that like randomly invited me to a party, and I was having an extremely good game as Reinhard. I fucking
You were
got
you were
Reinhard?
holding your fucking right mouse button.
I
It's
was
so good.
fucking ruining people. It was great. No, I had like a quadra kill within like 5 minutes. It was gross. And then I realized that we were playing a bot game, and then I was like, and I was like, what the fuck did you do? I was so infuriated. I was like, no, unless you guys are gonna play real games, don't ever
Who the
ever
fuck?
invite me back.
Who's
to
playing
play
bot
with
games
you
in
again.
Overwatch? Like, I had a friend of mine buy that game, and she had like never played a shooter before. We played 3 bot games, and then we were like, "We're done with this. We're playing real
No,
people.
my-
Let's go."
like-
you have the
Holy
fucking
shit.
basics down.
Well, like I was cooking dinner like the first night I bought Overwatch, and like got into a bot game and was jumping between the bot game and cooking dinner, and still ended up with like play of the game and 4 gold medals. And I was like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll just like
It's a
not
bot
cook dinner
game.
and play for realsies. Yeah, it was awful. It like physically hurt at the end of the game. It was the biggest letdown ever. So yeah.
So the only good thing on this game is that it signifies that you're using spurs to make your opponent go faster rather than shoving carrots in her ass.
Yeah.
I mean, this time at least they like.
Oh shit, we're in Farron Woods.
Yeah, we're actually
But
getting somewhere, guys.
You're about to fight the Abyss Watchers, bro.
Oh man, don't spoil it for me.
You just zone in, and it's literally the Abyss Watchers cutscene. It's like, well, you're gonna die.
Oh, I guess you don't want to go that way, asshole. All right, fine. We'll go this way.
Fucking Asperu.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. How long have we been doing this?
54 minutes.
Way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Can we put in any other game? Tic-tac-toe. Fucking, let's just play Monopoly and podcast, please.
You want a surefire way of me
You guys,
flipping the table?
you guys want to play that Magic Planeswalker board game?
I got it in the car. We are.
Oh, that was such a
We're
great
missing
game.
Dan the Lesser.
Yeah, we're missing the powder keg, if you will.
I really want to play a sound right now.
Oh god.
Then do it.
No one's fucking stopping you.
Yeah, we're in America.
I hope that comes through.
I think this podcast says everything, so we could probably quit while we're
yeah.
this
I think
point.
we're done.
So yeah, fuck this game. Why did I trade with you? Is what I want to know.
Yeah,
I was trying to be nice, and then I realized that
should not.
I
We
fucked
should
up.
get on a
be
new
nice for
game.
you ever.
You done goofed.
All right, next time we'll actually think about what we
At
wanna
least I
play.
got to get drunk.
Yeah. At least I got to sit here and just fucking
That guy
take
was
it from this
fucking-
Jufro.
Fucking spaghetti-haired motherfucker.
Spaghetti-haired motherfucker.
Isn't that the dentist?
Your mother
from Parks and
Julia.
Rec?
She made this for you.
Yeah,
the
that was-
spaghetti.
That
He's
was
got
the Parks
fucking a
and Rec
bird's nest in
dentist.
his hair. Oh man, Zelda, what have you become?
All right, we're done. We're done. I'm
Good
done
night,
with this.
everybody.
Good night.
You guys.
Love you all.
Twilight Princess sucks.
Yep.
Have a good night. Love you. Bye.
Right? And well, you weren't straddling it like I was. That was my mistake.
God, I was getting ass raped.